Last week, I shared how 25% of my stock investing portfolio is made up of Tesla. But over the weekend, we heard devastating news out of Texas that there was a large accident involving fatalities. So, what do we do as stock investors when we hear this? Last week on April 18th, Elon Musk announced on Twitter Tesla with AutoPilot engaged, now approaching 10 times lower chance of accident than the average vehicle. And then he goes on to cite this safety report that says basically, if you have AutoPilot on, you're really unlikely to get in an accident. But soon after that, we started to see these headlines coming out from the weekend, the big accident. It says police say no one was in the driver's seat in the fatal Tesla crash. And we're seeing all kinds of reports like this from around the world, from all different kinds of news outlets. And generally speaking, especially at the beginning, it was kind of like, can we trust Tesla? Can we trust AutoPilot? Is this really safe? Kind of feeling. More and more, little by little, as information gets out, people are starting to say, we don't know. There are a lot of question marks. But initially at the beginning, it was kind of like, hey, is Tesla okay? Can we actually trust this stuff? If you're already familiar with the news, feel free to use the timestamps down below to skip ahead, but I'm going to break down what the reports have been saying real quickly. Two men died after a Tesla vehicle, which was believed to be operating without anyone in the driver's seat, crashed into a tree on Saturday night north of Houston. There was no one in the driver's seat. The Tesla Model S was traveling at a high rate of speed when it failed to negotiate a curve and went off the roadway, crashing into a tree and bursting into flames. After the fire was extinguished, authorities located two occupants in the vehicle, with one in the front passenger seat while the other was in the back seat of the Tesla. And the Wall Street Journal also included that it took about 4 hours and 32,000 gallons of water to put out the fire. High voltage batteries like the ones used in Teslas can reignite after being damaged. It goes on to say, I have been scouring the internet to try and find more information. A lot of people are really quick to say Tesla Autopilot's dangerous, Tesla Autopilot's incomplete. Oh my gosh, full self-driving killed people. And again, like, my condolences to the families who've lost their loved ones. But there's so many different factors at play here that it's, and granted, I'm biased as a stockholder, but I want to take a step back and try and figure out the facts. Elon Musk actually replied relatively soon after. He said, data logs recovered so far show autopilot was not enabled, and this car did not purchase full self-driving. So when you buy a Tesla car, you choose whether or not full self-driving will be included. The full self-driving has been really controversial because even though it's in beta and it does provide a lot of really cool services and features, you can drive in a lot of cases without even like looking at the road and stuff. Basically, it's in beta. So they're like, you're one of the guinea pigs. You're one of the guinea pigs who's helping the system work out its kinks and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people were really alarmed and really quick to assume they were in full self-driving and it messed up and it killed them. But Elon Musk says autopilot wasn't enabled and full self-driving wasn't even available on this car. If that's true, that has tremendous implications for this case. Soon afterwards, the NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, opened up another case into Tesla. Apparently, according to Yahoo, there are already 28 cases, probes, looking at Tesla accidents, 24 of which are still open and have been open for a very long time. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out how these systems are going to be impacting the future of America's roads. As a result of the accident, we did see a sell-off in Tesla shares over here. And that kind of actually spilled over into a couple of the other American EV makers, CCIV and also Workhorse. Didn't seem to affect companies like NIO or XPeng very much. But I think in general, there's a lot of reason for people to be really cautious about this whole sector. Fortunately for investors, after the sell-off, we did see a little bit of recovery in the stock price. So I have 3 takeaways regarding this whole incident and how we can think about Tesla and the EVs and autopilot and stuff going forward. Number 1 is that autopilot isn't actually autopilot yet. There's been huge amounts of progress, and it seems like we're almost there. And it seems like manufacturers are always kind of saying, next month, next month, you know, and it just kind of continues to go on like that. I trust Elon when he says these guys didn't have FSD on their car and autopilot was not engaged. and I think there is tremendous capacity for especially men when they get in cars with their friends to want to show off and to want to show off their cool new toys and stuff like that. Who knows what was going on in their minds? And I'm not saying Tesla was 1000%, clear of guilt or anything like that. And there certainly are a lot of factors that need to be looked into. But I did want to share this tweet with you guys from Whole Mars Catalog. Check it out. 100 people died in the US today from car accidents, over 3,600 worldwide. 137,000 people were injured seriously today in vehicle accidents. This happens every day. Where is the outrage? AutoPilot FSD is an attempt to solve this once and for all. And Elon Musk replied with exactly. And so it's really easy to get upset at Tesla and say, what you guys are doing is so dangerous. What you guys are doing is insane. But probably 100 years ago, if we said, hey, we'll be able to drive around and get to places quicker, but a huge percentage of us are going to die or be decapitated or lose our limbs, most people would probably be like, no, that's probably not a good idea, And so this is how technology changes. But as rules and laws and regulations get stricter and stricter, it becomes harder to change that. So AutoPilot, hopefully we'll get there one day, but we're not there yet. And you need to be prepared for that to impact the stock price. And if you're a Tesla driver, you need to keep your eyes on the road and you need to keep your handles on the steering wheel. Item number 2 that we need to keep in mind is the reality of full self-driving. Like I just mentioned, it's not here yet. It will be a little while, but when we're talking about government regulation and the media and companies who are really far behind, who are influencing the media, you end up getting huge potential for misinformation or misleading information or little headlines or tidbits or tweets that can, plant the wrong idea in your mind. In the part of Japan we live in the winter, we regularly get whiteouts where you can't even see the hood of your car while you're driving. So experiences like that remind me that actual full self-driving that everybody can apply everywhere in the world is still very, very far away. You think about really narrow streets of Tokyo or typhoons or other crazy circumstances like that, and it's going to be a ways away. I know Elon always reminds us it's coming soon, and I think it might come soon for California, where the weather is always sunny and awesome. But keep that in mind if you're an investor. Finally, step number 3 is buy and hold. You need to be thinking about stocks, especially stocks like Tesla, with a really, really long-term perspective. Tesla is certainly going to be influenced by this accident, and they will use the data from the accident to improve their systems. And that will boost the value of their product in the future, and that will make them safer in the future. Let's take a look at the stock chart again. This is the 5-day chart. We've seen quite a bit of drama in the 5-day chart, but let's zoom back out to the 5-year chart. Back in the day when Tesla was getting crapped on by the media every single day, it was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be okay? Is this going to go out of business? Are we going to run out of money? And that was all around here, Now, zooming out a few years, it's like we've gone up more than 10x. And again, not to make light of a tragic accident like this, but that's how companies and that's how humans learn to improve, to get better. And if you have this kind of 5-year, 10-year perspective in mind, what we're going through right now will kind of fade out into that kind of gradual curve, which I think Tesla will be taking us on over the coming years. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this down in the comments section below. Feel free to click up here if you want to check out the portfolio video I did last week, and also hit the bell down below to be notified of any live streams that we have. We're trying to get 1 to 2 a week going, just so we can talk, get to know each other more, share ideas, share thoughts. Gotten a lot of good feedback from you guys that I hope to be using to analyze stocks for this week as well. Thank you guys. Love you and talk to you soon.